Once upon a time, in a humble garden lived an earthworm named Wiggly. Wiggly was not your average earthworm. He was wise, clever, and always brimming with good cheer. He loved digging tunnels and listening to the tales of older worms who spoke of life above the soil, of chirping birds, blooming flowers, and curious creatures. One sunny morning, Wiggly's peaceful life took an unexpected turn. A young boy named Timmy and his father, Bob, arrived at the garden to collect worms for their fishing trip. With his tiny spade, Timmy dug into the soil and found Wiggly. "Got one, Dad," Timmy cheered. Feeling somewhat honored and curious about the world above, Wiggly decided to take this opportunity as an adventure. "Goodbye, Mom, Dad, and my 96 brothers and sisters. I'm off to see the world," Wiggly announced to his large family. "We'll miss you, Wiggly. Be wise and careful," they all chorused. Wiggly was gently placed in a bucket with other worms who were equally puzzled and curious. They chatted amongst themselves, some worried, some excited. As the bucket swayed to the rhythm of Timmy's steps, Wiggly couldn't help but wonder what awaited him. After a short drive, they reached a serene lake, surrounded by tall trees and bustling with animal life. Timmy and Bob set up their fishing rods, attached the floats, and were now ready for the most crucial part, bait. Bob reached into the bucket and picked Wiggly, who mustered all his courage as he was placed onto the hook. "Well, here goes nothing," he thought, feeling a shiver go down his body, or whatever counted as a shiver for an earthworm. As he sunk into the water, Wiggly pondered his life choices. Just then, he felt a presence around him, a school of fish curiously inspecting this intriguing creature dangling from a hook. "Hello there. I'm Wiggly," he greeted. The fish, who had never heard a worm speak before, were astounded. "Hi, Wiggly. I'm Finn, and this is my school. Are you, new food?" Wiggly smirked. "Food? Oh, you're in for a disappointment if you think I'm the tastiest treat around." Finn raised an eyebrow. "Oh, really? Do tell." "Ah, the real delicacy is above the water. A young boy is dipping his feet in, and let me tell you, toes are the caviar of human parts." Finn was skeptical but intrigued. "Toes, you say? Well, we must investigate this." With a flick of his fins, Finn rallied his school, and they headed toward the surface. Timmy, feeling the water getting warmer, decided to dip his feet in for a refreshing touch. Suddenly, he felt a nibble, and then another, and then multiple nibbles in quick succession. The sensation was ticklish, so ticklish that Timmy burst into laughter. Bob looked at his son, puzzled. "What's so funny, Timmy?" "The fish, Dad. They're tickling my feet." Bob chuckled. "Well, maybe they prefer the taste of your toes over our bait." Hearing Timmy's laughter echoing across the lake, a thought crossed Bob's mind. "You know what, let's stop fishing. It's a beautiful day, and it sounds like the fish are having just as much fun as we are." "Sounds good to me, Dad," Timmy giggled, still feeling the gentle nibbles on his toes. As they packed up, Timmy looked at the bucket of worms. "Dad, can we let them go? They deserve to be in their home just like these funny fish." Bob smiled, proud of his son's compassion. "Of course, Timmy." They returned to the garden and gently emptied the bucket, releasing Wiggly and his new friends back into their homes. Wiggly squirmed back into his family's tunnel, greeted by cheers and hugs, or whatever counted as hugs for earthworms. "Oh, Wiggly, you're back. How was the world above?" they all inquired. "Ah, it was an adventure indeed," Wiggly recounted, sharing the tale of clever deception, ticklish toes, and the joy of returning home. And so, Wiggly became a local hero, a wise worm with a tale that was told for generations, even reaching the ears, or rather gills, of Finn and his fishy friends. Everyone learned something that day. Timmy learned the joy of compassionate choices, Bob was reminded of the simple pleasures in life, and the fish discovered that toes were a terrible substitute for caviar. As for Wiggly, he continued his wormy adventures beneath the soil, happy to be home but forever cherishing the day he changed his fate and made friends above and below the water's surface. And they all lived happily ever after.